and screening was presented by Latin Heat Media and HCSB, the Hispanic Coalition of Small Businesses, advancing small businesses everywhere.
My favorite part of the movie when he was like, bam, and then like, bam, and I that was amazing. Like the moves, all the like combat moves, that was so awesome.
Oh my gosh. I don't have a favorite. It was amazing, super cute. It's great for the family. I brought my kids, so watch it.
I think the parts that were funny were when the robot inside of the thing on his suit, when it was talking about the blood rush to his mid region. I think that was funny, and I think the fight scene was really cool, and the island fortress also looked really cool. And some of the parts where it looked like people died, it made me cry a little bit. And I think the movie was really good.
I really love the granny. I love the Adelita, the braids, the celebration of culture, tradition, the family unity. It made me really proud, and it made me very emotional. I loved it. It was so fun and familiar.
Yeah, I feel the same way. This movie is all heart. It's all about family. I mean, what better way to celebrate our culture than making it about the love of family, honestly.
I want to kiss like the Blue Beetle kiss. That's what I want.
I did. I cried.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Oh my God. Well, it's so beautifully shot. But when he goes to meet his dad, I don't want to be a spoiler, but on the other side.
It was a great film. De principio de último, great film. The story was written really good. What I really loved was our background culture of Hispanics of Mexico and Guatemala. That took my eyes and got my attention. I was like, oh wow. And this film is for every generation, for any race. It doesn't matter what color your background is. This is a movie about a family. It doesn't matter what we go through, is that we all come along as a family, friends, and loved ones. Best film of all time. In my opinion, I did cry. There are scenes that I did cry in the movie that I shed tears. I was trying to hold the tears, but the tears came out. But I'm actually going to take my family to watch this film because it was heartwarming. Good action, visual effects, we did better. Every dialogue, every character had on the film, they all nailed the dialogue of each character. And since I read comic book, I love of every scene of the movie had every dialogue, Easter eggs of a comic book. Miguel, gracias. I love the film, and I can't wait to see it again this next weekend. Gracias.
My favorite part was the part where Soto started kicking the water and they became friends.
His favorite part was when they became friends. My favorite part was when the grandma pulled out the big guns.
And my other favorite part was when they throw the sidekick in the fire.
I've seen it twice now, and I got to tell you, man, overall, it's just a fun movie. If you come, relax, bring the kids, you'll have a good time. A lot of traditional family stuff in there, which was great and refreshing, to be honest with you. The humor was funny. Overall, it was just a good movie to enjoy. So just look, come watch the movie.
I loved the movie. It was so cool. I loved seeing all the scenes and seeing Blue Beetle on screen. And it was so cool. I think he's such a cool superhero. I loved all the family elements. I think it was so cool. And I did cry a little bit when the dad cried. The movie's very touching. It's a very feel-good story, even with the deeper character moments. It's definitely a good must-watch. I recommend it, definitely.
Oh my God, so everyone's my favorite in the film. I think the film did a really good job with representation. It was just such a joy to see Latino families being represented. So, it was nuanced without being subtle, which I appreciate being in the industry. Man, I'm just blown away. It was amazing. You gotta come see it. Come see Blue Beetle. You'll have the time. Thank you.
Okay, well, that's it. We've had audience reaction. Here's what I gotta say. Go see this film. Take a family member. Why not? The Latino Slant approves of this movie. Wherever you're at, keep your slam fuerte. We'll see you later. Paz.
Bienvenidos to the Latino Slant. It is another live edition of the week. Special packed show with, of course, box office actuals. The Blue Beetle finally hit the theaters. Was it a hit, a success, failure, or flop? I'll give you my analysis. Also, to an interview with the film's director, and live with us, writer, novelist Kamran Pasha.
Thought I was your only vato. Hey baby, ¿qué pasó? Won't you give me un beso?
What's happening, everybody? Pauly here on the Latino Slant Live. It's Monday. It is a new day, and it is the box office actuals have come out, and lots to break down. So let me just tell you guys right now, this is going to be a stream pretty much dedicated to one subject in regards to the film Blue Beetle. In about a half hour, we're going to be joined live by Kamran Pasha, and then also to the Base Go Scenario and Sin's Corner are going to come on and join us on the panel. But what I want to do right now is say hello to everyone in the chat. Early comers, we love all our early comers. We love our members. This is we're here once a week where we get to interact with you guys. So let's say hello right now. Penny's here, Wex Wuto, Mark D with the C, Pat S, Zephyr. What's happening? Olaf, what's up, Olaf? The Crusty Moco's here with his Mocosadas. Mojin, hail. Sean, hail. Great film. Chion. Yeah, Pacheco was a Chion in that video. Reggie made $45 million. What we going to talk, Reggie? We're going to talk Reggie Shark Arcade. First time I'm seeing you here. Bienvenidos. Welcome. CJC. Abuela. Abuela was hilarious. More MAGA. What's up, buddy? Good to have you here. Skibo. Howdy room. Howdy, partner. Keely Chow. Boy, we got a lot of Bonso. We got some wonderful early comers here. Thomas M. Matt G. ¿Qué pasó, Matt G? It's been a minute. I love it. Absolutely love it. Look at this. The Sundowners Club. I haven't seen you in a minute. Good to see you here. What up? Oh, members of the channel. JP. ¿Qué pasó? State of Ability Productions. Greetings, Paul. It's Danny Miguel. What's up, Danny? He was at the event. He has his own event happening in late September. Latino Slant is sponsoring that, is a part of that. We will give you news on Danny's event. Very excited to have met him and his project. So, Monarch, I'm doing really well. I'm actually doing very well. Thank you so much. It's great to have 44 people here. Early birds. I love it. Well, guys, let's just get right into it. And if I missed the early hellos, I apologize. But we will, keep on saying hello to you guys. Smash a like, share the link. It's in Twitter and in our Discord. Let's double even. Let's just get people in here. You guys are the Slantinos. Get them in here. I want to go now to the box office, okay? And I want to talk numbers because I'm always fascinated with this. Every week we do this, guys. Let's bring up Exhibitor Relations Co. They're a box office Twitter feed that I really enjoy. Got to listen to him yesterday. Here we're joined by our producer, Fletcher Williams. ¿Qué pasó, hombre? Okay, well, he'll join us. Here are some number breakdowns in regards to Blue Beetle, the top 10 Blue Beetle markets. This is important. Pay attention. LA number 1, then going down. New York, Dallas, San Francisco, Houston, Chicago, Phoenix, Atlanta, DC, Philly. None of these surprise me. I think Exhibitor was surprised by Phoenix, and I had sent him a note in regards to Phoenix. The top 7 are Mexican heavy cities, Puerto Rican as well. Those guys showed up this weekend in those markets. Okay. Top 10, top 5 locations. Let me make sure you guys are still with me. Good. As far as you guys can still see the screen. Top 5 locations. Number 1, AMC Burbank going down. AMC Empire in New York. Harkins Estrella Falls, Phoenix is number 3. I have gone there several times with my cousins. That theater is huge. AMC Grove in LA. AMC CC in LA. Fletcher, can you look that one up? I mean, I'm a little confused. CC. I don't know if that's City of Commerce or Norwalk in LA. Those are huge as well. Okay. So let me leave this up there for you guys. And let me read a little bit. I'm going to read a little bit from Box Office Report as you guys look at these numbers and send me messages. Okay. Blue Beetle started off with 10 million on Friday, which included a 3.3 million from Thursday preview. Declined a reasonable 14% on Saturday to gross 8.5 million. Decreased 19% on Sunday to gross 6.85 million. Tropical Storm Hillary hitting Southern California on Sunday will likely prevent it. It did, and Warner Brothers had to walk back $400,000 from the LA market. Southern California market, everything was shut down yesterday. People, wisely just were stayed home. For us, as far as the storm, it ended up being a really bad storm, but in the outskirts of Indio and Salton Sea, now there was just horrible flooding. So that makes sense that its top market in California, Southern California, it did affect the box office. So they did update the numbers. It's 25 million. Okay, this is interesting. Blue Beetle, which is noteworthy for having a Latino superhero and largely Latino primary cast, performed well with Hispanic American audiences, but also didn't really become an event with Hispanics either, as Hispanic Americans represented 39% of the film's overall audience. I would say yes and no. 39% is pretty big when you consider we're only 19% of the population. That's still pretty huge. Here's the problem. The rest of the ethnic breakdown for the Blue Beetle skewed 27% Caucasian. That needed to be higher. 90% African American. That's pretty good. That's about the percent of the population. 11% Asian, 5% Native American, and other. I would say we definitely needed more of the gringos to come, and maybe they will with good word of mouth. The audience for breakdown for Blue Beetle also skewed. And you know what? I wanted to read that. We'll hit some. Let me read one more sentence from here. With solid word of mouth being a non-sequel about a lesser known character and the potential to hold up especially well with Hispanic American audiences going forward, Blue Beetle will have a chance of displaying stronger than usual holding power for a comic book based film. That's Box Office Reports official website in their opinion. Okay, I am not totally convinced with that. It does, break my little heart a little bit, but Box Office Report did also say that Box Office Report did also say Blue Beetle was going to they predicted their opening weekend was going to be 30 million. Listen, with all the influx of numbers and experts, going at it, remember, maybe 2 weeks ago, people were saying 12 to 17 million, 17 to 20, 20 to 25, 25 to maybe 30. It hit 25 on this weekend. I think there's a lot of success and failures to go around. So if you're asking me, is this a success? Is this a failure? Is this a flop? I would say yes to them all and no. You like that? You guys like that? Okay, but let's go back to these numbers here, which I think are great. Okay. exhibitor relations really got some great numbers. Here's another breakdown. Domestic debut 25 million. Budget was 100 to 120. It keeps going back and forth. It's around that range. I think it's closer to 105 million. You got to remember this movie was first budgeted at 90 million for max. Then I guess they saw something they liked. It got upgraded, put some more money into it. Either way, let's go with 120 million. All right, we'll go up there. This movie, to break even, is gonna need to make around 360, 375 if I'm correct. That's towards making money for the studio. Okay? Now, that being said, it's over 45 million as of this morning internationally. There's a lot more markets that are opening up. But let's go down to with this with what they're saying here. Okay? Premium formats 40%, male 62%, 25 years and older 65%, 18 and under 15, Hispanic 40, whites 27, and we said that needed to be higher. And I'm gonna talk to you about that in a minute. Let's go up, because this is new here in regards to Blue Beetle, and exhibitor relations really is doing a good job. I listened to his podcast yesterday. He does a podcast on Twitter, it seems like every Sunday. Here is the Blue Beetle worldwide debut. 43.6 million in 64 markets. Saudi Arabia and Emirates will drop on the 24th of August. OZ and New Zealand, Australia and New Zealand on the 14th. Top markets. I also want to say China and Japan are opening up on the 14th of September. So those are just six more major markets the Blue Beetle is not in yet. China, Japan, New Zealand, Australia, Emirates, and Saudi Arabia. It's gonna make some money. How much? Who knows? But it will make some money there. Okay. Now, oh, my dog is going crazy. It's all right, baby. It's all right. Mommy's coming. Mommy's coming. They got excited because Romy just drived in. So it's all right. Go to mommy. Yeah, doggy break there real fast. If you're hearing that honk, one of my dogs has a chronic cough. He's on medicine. We're doing the best we can. He's got to lose a couple more pounds, but that's why he's got that terrible cough. He's okay though. He's okay. All right. I will get to your comments real soon. Let's go back to these. Let me see. Where was I here? Did I get rid of it? There we go. Okay. So here are the top markets. Okay, guys? The top markets this past weekend as far as money-making markets for Blue Beetle. Okay? US, Canada, 25 million. Mexico, 2.7 million. Brazil, 2.2 million. France, 1.5. UK, 1.5. India, 1.2. I have to tell you, I'm actually pretty impressed with Mexico and Brazil. That is pretty good. I don't know how many other Latin American countries it's in. I would hope it gets to all of Latin America, but that is pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Again, worldwide as of today, $43.6 million for the Blue Beetle a budget of, we're going to say 120, right? And again, we're going to say to break even, to start making money for the studio, it's going to have to make 3 times that. So conservative, actually we're being a little high, 360 million to actually start making money. We're going to do a new poll later on the second half. How much do you think it eventually will make? We do have a poll right now going on in the chat. With Blue Beetle's success, will the trilogy happen, or will he be rolled into the Justice League? Simon, a trilogy, 32%. No Manches, Justice League, 67%. That's 45 votes so far. So please, if you're just getting here, make sure you guys vote. And before I go into successes and failures of the Blue Beetle, as far as what I see, as far as what's going on, let me get to some of your comments. And yes, we always love super chats, guys. Super chat all night long. You know what I mean? Blue Beetle bombing mis nalgas. Zephyr, nuance without being subtle. Sorry, I don't get it. LOL. Yeah, that's probably how she saw it. Since Corner, and she's going to be on the panel soon. They were filming. Honey, do you mind closing the door for me? They were filming. Romy's here, so now we can close the door. They were filming Blue Beetle in Puerto Rico when my daughter was there, visiting her novio. So she's interested to see when we get back from Dragon Con in early September. Yeah, I think we'll talk about word of mouth. Let's put a pin on that. We'll talk about word of mouth soon. Daniel T. National Cinema Day is August 24th. August 27th. $4 tickets for all formats. Polly can buy at a theater again for cheap. Hey. As you saw, the people loved the movie. And let me tell you, that event was in no way connected to Warner Brothers marketing. We did it on our own, and it was a great event. Okay, thank you, Daniel T. The Sundowners Club. I thought it was a good movie. I hope that word of mouth will give it good legs, because Warner isn't spending marketing dollars after Flash. I mean, we'll get to that, and you're absolutely right. What I think is going to help is people like Critical Drinker, Fatal J, people who are YouTubers whose opinions you respect, that aren't Latino, that like it and is getting the word out. That's like, you know what? It's not a bad film. It's actually a lot of fun. Which listen, that's just the way it is. Perception's everything. It's like most people will think, oh, Polly's gonna like Blue Beetle no matter what. I didn't like Namor. I didn't like National Treasure. So, but it doesn't really matter, because you want to legitimize this film's success to the entire market. You need those other voices. Thank you so much. And we got our first super chat of the day. Kareen for $4.99. My theater was full and people were laughing and enjoying this movie. AMC Fresh Meadow, and New York City. I don't know ethnicity. Thank you, KN. Okay. What I'm seeing in the comments to our videos is a lot of you guys who said, I'm only going to see this because of what you have been promoting and marketing, like, what you've been suggesting, Paul. Then I said, great, come and hit me back. Let me know your thoughts on the film. 100% of them liked or loved this movie. They come and have commented back on the channel. Some were shocked how much they liked it, laughing, crying. Oh my God, the fam. Oh my God, this. So I think good word of mouth is going to be really key for this movie moving forward. It might have that staying power like a Elemental or Mission Impossible 1, where those films technically flopped the first week, but got legs and stayed for many weeks. They're still making money. 72 people live here in the chat with me. My name is Polly. This is the Latino Slant. Welcome, everybody. Slantinos all. If you're a member of the channel right now, let's go ahead and show some love to all the new people. Let's hit them with some good old Latino emojis. And let's also hit a nice thank you to this super chat. You can always super chat. Gracias. Andale pues, Sean. True, some countries are showing it months after. Like, what? You know, it's just that happens, man. That just happens. This is a lower tier film, lower tier superhero. It's not the Tom Cruise, and it's just scheduling. But here's the thing: it got in there. Technically, Sound of Freedom has not been international in Latin America yet. I can only imagine the numbers the next couple of weeks, because in Mexico it opens up, and in Latin America for Sound of Freedom August 31st. It's a weird thing. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Sean. JD's Space 33. We won't know if it is a flop until we see the second weekend numbers. Sound of Freedom had a very low opening, had gone on to outperform massive tempo movies. So it's not impossible. Absolutely not. It's absolutely not impossible. It is stacked against them being Blue Beetle, because it did cost way more than Sound of Freedom. Sound of Freedom was made for about 15 million. It was probably bought and then marketed for, let's just say, triple. So you got to think it needed to make money back at after the 55 million mark. It's making money. So Sound of Freedom is making money. I'd say with Blue Beetle going forward, I would say another month until they announce when it's going on Max. I would say it has a lot of time to make dollars. There is an argument to be said, and this is from Tom of Midnight's Edge, that it was always, operating from a place where, it's a loss because they put money into it for Max. So they were going to judge success by viewership. So that 90 million really was the loss. You added in another, let's say, 100 million to market. There's all these kind of arguments for it. What I think is fascinating is that we are talking about this. People are so interested in the success, especially people who have seen it now that wanted to succeed. Thank you for your comment. Kirsty Moko, I watched in Chicago. Puro Paisa at the show I went to. I liked it. It's a popcorn flick, and I didn't read into it any more than that. Puro Paisa. That means like it was like, a lot of Mexican paisanos went, that are, kind of like that Tio Rudy type. I liked it. It is a popcorn flick, man. Julissa, thought it was a good movie too. I hope word of mouth encourages many to go see it in the theaters. You saw it with your family members, with your kids, if I'm not incorrect. Julissa is a great member of the channel. Your kids are going to tell their kids, that's good word of mouth. Juxtapose is the last one. We also have back to school college week, college move in a week. They should have released it in the beginning of summer. That's another thing. This is dog days of Paisa Colombiana. What's up, Paisa? I love it. I loved Young Justice. I love Young Justice. I started rewatching Blue Beetle's appearances in the Batman, Brave and the Bold, and then Young Justice. I mean, yeah, those are great. So yeah, let's talk about now. Let's go with the successes of the Blue Beetle. Okay, I think I already told you. One was that Latinos showed up, right, which is fantastic in the U.S. That U.S. market, 39 to 40% of the market was Latinos. They're only 19% of the population. I told you also too, Mexico, Brazil, incredible showing. I mean, that's 2.7, 2.2 million. They have an invested interest in Brazil because Bruna, the leading lady, is huge there. So, and let's also too acknowledge that any money a movie makes is a success, right? So I'm not trying to spin it like, oh my God. No, listen, it's an uphill battle for it to break even. But the fact that people are enjoying it so much, and you're seeing more and more reviews come out that they either liked it or it was really good, it's only going to help the movie going forward. Another success, more positive reviews, word of mouth, like I said, and then like I said also too, it will open up in China, Japan, and all those other international markets, which only means it's going to make more money. So really, if China, Japan, and Australia and New Zealand open up September 14th, we're talking well into the first week of October, this movie is still gonna make money. That's a success. Let's talk about the failures. I'm gonna be very honest with you guys. The failures, and I'm gonna go from big world, right, to like big general failures to very like niche failures. The marketing was a complete mismarket of this film. I don't know what dollars Warner Brothers had, but they put those dollars to Latino influencers, to Latino specific events in the major markets. And as we said, those major markets showed up. But let me tell you, there's that saying, preaching to the choir. You were gonna get those anyways. Those Latinos were gonna fucking show up anyways. What you needed to do is that you needed to market this movie to the general market and be creative with it. Be warm and welcoming like the Reyes family. That's what you needed to do. And I have an idea. Let me bring up a slide up really quickly. Who in the chat, just say yes or no. Just say yes or no right now. Who in the chat has heard of the game Loteria? Who in the chat, answer me right now. Let's be honest. Who in the chat has heard of the game Loteria? Okay. I'm still trying to find my slides. All right, here we go. All right. So here's what they did with some of the marketing behind Blue Beetle. This is the game Loteria, right? They call it out. It's just like bingo. It's Mexican bingo. And this is like a Latino thing in other countries as well. Okay. They went ahead and made the loterias of the Blue Beetle characters. Fantastic. Then they took these and made these private events at taquerias, lo que sea, events in Houston, Miami for influencers, a la chingada. Right? That I'm not happy about that guy. That sounds not, because you're catering and you're catering to a market that's already going to be there. That doesn't help. So I would have taken this great idea, and this is a taqueria place in Houston that's pretty popular. Let me see, what do I got here? And they did this event here. Blue Beetle event. Look, you had good-looking people, Latinas. You had the signage. You had everyone's doing the loteria. Here's what I would have done, and I don't know why. Cameron's here. Cameron, why the F hasn't anyone in Hollywood hired the Latino Slant to write their shit? I know what I'm doing here. Here's what I would have done. Taken this Loteria game, and you get with Chipotle, get with even a local chain in these bigger cities that are more geared towards the gringos, the non-Latinos, and you do these events there. You get other Latinos invested and excited. Everyone loves Mexican food and games. That's a no-brainer, Warner Brothers. Instead, you did these exclusive events, influencers. Man, let me tell you something. The Rock couldn't influence his own crowd to come in masses to make his films a success. You think a taqueria, I don't know what, is going to influence other than Latinos to come to the movie? No. Huge misstep, guys. Huge misstep. Fail. That's a fail. Here's another fail we could not avoid. We couldn't avoid. Right? Half of it. Here's half of it. We didn't have Xolo. When you see this kid on stage on the film, you know, oh my God, this kid is great in this film. This kid is great in this film. Warner Brothers, why didn't you set up something with the Cobra Kai people? Do some sort of Cobra Kai tie-in. Get the Blue Beetle. Get what do you call them? The stand-ups of Xolo's face in every dojo, where Xolo's face in the Blue Beetle uniform at every dojo in America. Why? Cobra Kai is huge still. Huge. None of that. You gotta bring in the market where you already know the Latinos are there. I'm telling you guys. Also, too, no fault to its own. It's a superhero movie, man. It's another superhero movie. They're gonna hear all that noise. This is another strike in the director's controversial statements of the past. And then he went after the fans for a minute. He got real smart and he apologized in a way, and he stopped talking. He stopped because he knew that was not the right thing. At the end of the day, saying my job here is done, poking fun at fans, even though that particular example, everyone is just being snarky. He was being snarky back. That's not the right move. People ran with it. YouTube channels, you got to understand, YouTube channels are set. And we're not different. We're set differently, right? But there's a lot of YouTube channels whose influence their set is to not like something right away. That's the algorithm. It feeds it. Whenever we talk about Rachel Ziegler here, boom, the numbers go up. I can't do that, guys. I can't. I can't. So what do you think is going to happen with the Batman's a fascist line, with the director saying something off color? They're going to run for it, not for one video, not for two videos, but for weeks. And then they're going to bring it back. They're going to make you remember it. And they're going to want you to say Blue Beetle's a flop. That's another negative. Finally, the media's agenda of promoting this film as a Latino culture movie, it does nothing for the needle in the game in regards to getting your film out to a mass market. The film itself really is not about identity politics as it is about a identity specific family who has very different family members. They all have different views and different things that are in a world as if this DC world called Palmera City, made up fictional, fantastic portrayal. Yes. Are there stereotypes? Absolutely. Guess what? We stereotypes exist for a reason, because they're there in the world. That was Tio Rudy. I could go down the line, but my point is, let the movie speak for itself. What you need to do, media, is that you need to speak to the universalities of the story to get more people involved. Again, you're preaching to the choir when you're talking about the love of the Latino culture. And I got that, lo que sea, and it's just, some people you turned off people. I know it sounds crazy, but you just turned them off. And now, we're here. And look at that being said, all those negatives, those are negatives. I didn't even bring up the strike. Well, I did, because you can't use Xolo. I think I gave a couple of concrete ideas creatively in how you could have marketed this thing. There's something of a disconnect with studios and how they market real good movies or TV shows that have an ethnic background. They just don't get it. They just don't get it. They're getting better, but they just don't get it. 80 people live in the chat. That's badass. We are moving along here, and we just went through the successes and failures, and I'm sure we're going to do it with our esteemed guest, Kamran Pasha. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to play a quick video interview of the director. We got him the other night. And then we're going to come back, and then we're going to start our talk. Does that sound good, everyone? And I haven't gotten to your comments. And let me see anything. We do have some. We do. Okay, let's. If you have questions for Kamran, hit him up in a super chat. I'll get you quicker than not. Right? I'm going to do my best. Let's bring up that video. And after the video, we will be back with Mr. Pasha. Sounds good? Here it is, our exclusive interview with Angel Manuel Soto. Beetle community event and screening was presented by Latin Heat Media and HCSB, the Hispanic Coalition of Small Businesses, advancing small businesses everywhere.
Thank you guys for being here. This is very awesome. It's one of those, been a long ride here, and it's really awesome to finally see so many people coming together to support this movie. We did it with a lot of love, and I said this many times, but I think I'll say it again. Like, our actors gave it all, you know, and they didn't have the chance to promote this movie, and it's up to us to, like, you know, promote it for them and amplify it, you know. They're actually doing the right thing. They were today in the picket line with the writers and the Latino community over there. So it's really important to show their support while they're doing the strike by watching the movies that they've created with so much love. And this movie is no different. This movie, we did it with the whole intention for everybody in the family, from the young kids to the elders, can actually see themselves not only represented, but see themselves as heroes of their own stories. So this, we did it with a lot of love. Got it from Mexico, Querétaro. He wrote it. Yeah, shout out to Garrett. Yeah. And Cholo, Belisa, Elpidia, también Alcazar, Becky G, George Lopez, Adina Barraza, Harvey Guillen, Raúl Max Trujillo, and Susan Sarandon gave everything. And Bruna Marquezine from Brazil. All of them gave everything in this movie. And I just cannot wait for you guys to enjoy this. Feel free to laugh, to cry, to clap and yell and do whatever you want to do. This is your basketball game. This is our time as a community to celebrate not just our culture, but to celebrate a new way of seeing ourselves in the movies, right? Because we've always been vilified, we've always been villains of their stories, and I think like now, finally we have a chance, and hopefully the first of many chances to see us as the superheroes we've always known that we are. So let's show them that we have the power to keep telling our stories in the many beautiful ways that exist. Okay, because we're not a monolith. So let this be the first one of many. If you're a fan of comics, you're gonna see a lot of Easter eggs. If you're a fan of movies, there's even more Easter eggs. So this movie is gonna have a lot of things for you guys to have fun, to talk about, and to watch it a second time. So thank you guys and enjoy the show.
Paulie here with the Latino Slant. I'm here with the director of the Blue Beetle, his third film.
Yes.
Let's not forget his third film. ¿Cómo está?
Bien, 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 ¿y tú?
I think I work hard. I don't think I work half as hard as you've been working.
It's been a lot of work, yeah.
Senor, I have one question, right? I've seen the movie twice, okay, and I've been promoting it. There's a lot of things I love about this film. Why should someone come who's not a Latino, who, you know, was like, well, is this just for Latinos only? And I say, no, man, it's for everyone.
It's for everyone.
What's your pick? What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's for everyone. Just because they're Latinos in the movie doesn't mean that it's a Latino movie. Yes, it has Latino is not a genre. It's a race. It's a demographic. It's a people. So you're just watching a superhero movie that happens to have Latinos at the forefront.
What I'd said in my review is that you and Alcocer created a cosmic world, a new world where it's as if, and la música is like so different.
Yeah.
This place that you set, and then you guys go into the cosmos with the afterlife, with the supernatural in his dream state. Can you just give me a nugget of that dream state? That was such a beautiful moment that you created, bro.
Yeah, we wanted to create this a blend of memories of life with the cosmic idea of the afterlife, and mixing it together in like this magic realism of, you know, the time is ticking and you have to make a decision and do that leap of faith.
You did it, man. You did it from Santurce to here.
Yeah.
Continued success, sir.
Thank you so much.
Okay, gracias.
Thank you for having me.
I got to tell you, man, that was an incredible event. Everyone had a great time. For him to show up, that was just like, that was very special. And I want to thank all the people that made that happen. Definitely the event and Mr. Soto showing up was a community. It was a collective of people that made that happen. So, but talking about community, a gentleman I love talking to, and I'm getting to see him a little bit more in person, which is even better. It's our good friend, writer, novelist, Kamran Pasha. Hermano,
hola, and hola to the audience, and thank you for having me on. I've been watching the stream for some time, and I was there for the interview. And let me say this first: I want to thank you, Paulie.
But make you bigger.
Okay, make me bigger. Make me bigger.
Go for
make
it.
You bigger.
There you go.
Make you bigger. Okay. This is the second movie now that you convinced me to go see that I was resistant to seeing, and the second movie that I loved after I went to see it based on your recommendation. The first movie was an incredible movie with Melissa Barrera. I'm blanking on the name.
In the Heights.
In the Heights. Thank you. In the Heights. I loved that movie. I was not going to go see it. I wasn't going to go see it. Again, we're going to talk about marketing because, again, the marketing failed for both of these films, right? For the reasons you've been talking about. I'm going to add some to that. But I didn't. And then I saw it, and I grew up in Brooklyn, New York with these communities. I saw it and I said, I knew all these people. I knew their journeys. I had been through these journeys in my own way as a Pakistani immigrant, and I was blown away by that movie. And the music was wonderful. The dancing was wonderful. The journey pulled me in. And the same thing with Blue Beetle, because again, I'll be honest, I wasn't blown away by the trailers. I was like, it looks like a generic superhero movie. I think I've seen this a few times, right? I try not to get swayed too much by the YouTubers. I've had my issues with a lot of their recent reviews on things, right? But I was like, but I heard negative things. But I said, no, you invited me to this screening, and I said, Paulie's my friend. I want to support him. I went to it. I was blown away, dude. This wasn't the movie I expected. This was, some of the story tropes we've seen before, but it was put together in a new way. I was emotionally pulled in. This is a family movie, not just for families. It's about a family. It's not just about the Blue Beetle's character. All of the family characters were richly developed. It's about a family dealing with this situation, right? Which is exactly what Ms. Marvel is. I'll talk about that, the comparisons. But it's, and then it made me laugh out loud throughout. And there was a lot of immigrant jokes. Like there's this moment where
you're right.
You're out and they use like a bottle of Vicks to wake him up. This is because that my sister texted me. My sister was crying when she saw that because that's what Pakistani people would do.
Really?
Vicks is an all solution. You solve everything with Vicks. Cancer, you put Vicks on your chest. You solve everything with Vicks, right?
That's awesome.
And so but then it was emotional. I teared up several times, and the scene that I've now heard from several people that really affected them, it affected me, was that scene you talk about in the interview where we see the afterlife, where, spoiler alert, we see him with his father. So spoiler alert on that. Yeah, and so my father passed away in 2010, and he was a lot like the father as portrayed here of Jaime's character, a very decent, quiet guy who keeps the family together, not showy. He was that guy, and he had difficulty.
Nose down. Works every day.
Works. His
whole thing is about keeping everyone together.
That was
Romy
my dad,
said that as well. That's Romy's dad. That's a lot of our immigrant fathers. Go on.
And it's not about Latino. This is white people immigrants. All you people whose grandparents came from Ireland, they went through this stuff.
Everyone.
They went through this stuff. And so I sat there, and when he's having this emotional conversation with his father, my father, there was so much that he wasn't able to say to me because of that generation where you keep it to yourself. And I felt like my dad was speaking to me because he was scared. He was scared about the choices that I made to leave. He didn't come from Pakistan for me to leave behind a successful legal career and go into the arts as a profession. That scared him. And he had difficulty expressing that to me, his worries and his fears, but his belief in me, and that conversation was the one I wanted to have with my dad. And I started crying in that scene. Right. This is a great movie. I'm so glad you made me see it. I'm telling people go watch it. This isn't a Latino movie. This is for everybody. This is a family movie. It's about your family, just like Ms. Marvel was, and they were both mismarketed. And this goes down to Hollywood racism, the racism of these marketing departments, which is like, we're just going to make it for brown people because the movie was made for brown people. That's their small thinking racism.
Or let's even be nice and just say lazy and ignorant, which doesn't help.
I've dealt a lot with these people. A lot of them are the progressive racists, right? I've dealt with them, right? They don't see outside that box. Yeah, and they don't see outside that box.
Those are worse. They're the worst.
They're the worst because you can't fix them because they think they're already progressive.
Well, they're trying to save you and your people.
Exactly. And the way they do it is they put you in a box. They limit you, which is what they did with this film, which is what they did with Ms. Marvel. It's what they did with In the Heights. In the Heights is a universal film. It's frankly better than Spielberg's remake of the classic, musical. It's just, but again, I talked about it at the time that, Hollywood wanted to support Spielberg, right? With Rachel Zegler. They didn't want to support this film. And so people who haven't seen it, go see it yourself. Don't listen to all this garbage out there. It's hard for me to cry in a film. This hit me.
So yeah, I was running down the successes and failures. I think I'm pretty spot on, and I'm right. I, regardless of my bias to the movie, which I've said, yes, I am biased. I can be biased. I wanted to succeed for these reasons, which are not exclusionary reasons, right? Because you want better stories told from different perspectives. The more that happens, the less race swapping you're going to get, the less bad products you're going to get.
The more you show humanity, you don't. Again, that's the racism. The more you show humanity authentically, people find the connections. I'm not Mexican. I'm not Guatemalan. I found the human connections to my own life, my own family, my own struggles as an immigrant. I found those connections. You don't have to be an immigrant. I found the connections of father and son, mother and son, grandparent and son, and the struggles of just not knowing your purpose in life, not being overwhelmed with debt. That's a problem for everyone. It's a real storyline issue of the generation being stuck in debt and being enslaved by it. That's a real issue for all of us. It's a universal movie.
I do want to say there's a buddy of ours, Manolo, who saw the film. He did not enjoy it. Thinks certain things were heavy-handed. He's in the chat, and I want to say, dude, you're welcomed here. I respect that, because when it's at the flip side, I'll go on to other chats or other channels, and I say I like something, man. I hear it. Here, you're safe to actually give your opinions that differ.
Well, as long as you saw the film. I don't tolerate people talking about things they haven't seen. I don't like
that. And the thing too, speaking on that, what I saw with this Reyes family was that you had a Gen Zer, you had the local Tio who has different views on America. You had the conservative father who was that's like real life. That's
the father's true, who's trying to protect the kids. Don't get in trouble with the cops. Don't. I mean, my dad was always like, do not don't get involved in protests and things. Focus on your homework, right? Because my dad had left, Pakistan to get away from politics and he just wanted the kids to survive here. He didn't want any trouble. That's my dad.
So yeah, I just want to say that, Manolo, and to anyone in the chat, that you guys are throwing your opinions. I value them. It's badass. That's what makes a Latino Slant so special. And we bring you guys wonderful people to have conversations with, like Mr. Pasha. We're going to bring in a minute some YouTubers that are really interesting, doing interesting stuff. They've seen the film, they have opinions, which I think is great. But before we do, let's read some of these off really quickly. I lost my stars here. Here we go. The man himself, Mexican Iron Man for $10. I mean, Mike is everything. Saw this movie because of Polly and had fun. The crowd reactions from both white folk and Latino folk here in Southern Carolina at the same time was pretty heartwarming. Blue Beetle over the Flash and Blue Beetle over Wakanda. 100%. I mean, the rant from Mexican Iron Man on Wakanda and Namor was something to behold. I'm really glad you liked it, Mike. I actually thought about you. I thought about all our fathers and sons because I don't think I've seen something as daring in that scene where he's in his dream state and they take Jaime there to meet his ghost, his father, the ghost of his father. I mean, I almost lost it, bro. And I've already seen it now 2-3 times.
I did lose it. I lost it.
Did you?
I lost it. I cried in the theater. I lost it.
Yeah.
And people were saying that. My sister said my nephew started crying and he got into her lap and he loved the movie, but he got into her lap. He's like 8 years old and he started crying. This is an emotional movie, but it's not a sad movie. It's about triumph over adversity.
Very well said. Zephyr for $2 Canadian. Is your refrigerator running? Yes. Let me go check. I know all those jokes. Aaron Burleson for $5. He's new here to the Slant. I don't know if he's coming from your community. You're welcome. I can't wait to hear from you and a few others before I take my kids to a movie. If you say it's a good movie, I'll be taking them. Thanks, Polly. Take your kids to this movie. There's a couple of there's some cursing.
There's a couple of adult jokes as well. They may not get them. Yeah.
Right. But it's not gratuitous. The violence gets a little nuts, but again, nothing they probably haven't seen before. The message of family, the message of a young man trying to find himself and accepting who he is, the tragedies, and yes, we are spoiling it. It's all, like you said, just I did not expect this movie actually to be that deep. And we have 2 new members of the channel, TF and Brian McCann. Muchísimas gracias, everyone.
And Brian also made a comment. I saw that he as a gringo really liked this movie. Why as a Pakistani like this movie? So thank you.
Right. We have that. We have a few gringos in the chat. I'm a gringo in this film. A solid thumbs up for me.
I think it might have been Sean. Forgive me, Brian, if I projected a comment onto you didn't make, but I saw that comment. Yeah, so thank you.
Yes, fantastic father and son scene in Blue Beetle. I mean, yeah.
And that's what we say we've been wanting, right? Fathers being respected again, right?
Yeah.
Thank
always
you,
enjoying Mr. Pasha's perspective. Hermano, I always love having you here, man. You keep on keeping on. Baz, let's talk about this. Grandma yelled down with imperialists for real? Yes.
It was funny.
And it was hilarious.
It was hilarious.
So
because you talk about it.
Yeah, the juxtapose of this was that she was a very non-offensive, like, timid grandma at the beginning, first part of this film. She's like Nana, she's drinking her tea, la abuela, But then when the shit hits the fan and there's tragedy, she actually steps up and says, I used to be an Adelita. I'm a revolucionaria. Let's go fucking save my grandson.
and it worked. I mean, this is not. People are like, it's not, they're promoting Marxist revolution. It's just promoting a grandma who had a life you didn't know about. I've learned a lot about my grandparents that I didn't know. I just saw them as my nana, my papa, right? They had lives. They were complex people. And you see their humanity. That's the fun of this, is that she was, and what is she doing there? She's avenging her son. She's avenging her son.
That's right. So yeah, spoiler here is that the father does pass away, and she, more importantly, the nana says so many prolific things. This was This was a throwback to her being an ass kicker, where she's screaming and then she says down with the imperialistas, and then she laughs like sinister, and then she's all right, mijo, let's go.
But then how does that whole sequence end? When it's all over, she brings them all together and lets them cry.
That's what I want. So
don't cry. We have to deal with the situation.
Okay, now. Say both scenes. Tell us both scenes.
Okay, so since we have revealed the spoiler that the father dies, it's very emotional. There's a lot of consequences to this. But the thing where you begin to see her strength, because you've just seen her as Nana, who's a sweet little grandma that I remember my grandma, right? And then when her son has been killed, right? Everyone is falling apart. And she's the grandmother who controls and says, this is not the time to cry. We have to avenge him. We have to put things right. And she's the leader that brings them all together. The older generation, again, respect for the older generation. Then we have all these adventures. The fun thing you discover that that she's like the Terminator chick, right? And she's got all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then at the end of that entire sequence, all the action, whatever. Then she brings them all together, set up and payoff, good screenwriting, and huddles them together and says, "Now it's time to cry. Now we can grieve for my son." Right. And that's good screenwriting because they brought it full circle and shows her humanity.
Listen, yeah, I mean, they took a very predictable story and did a fantastic job with it, because it is an origin story. But that Nana was perfect. Those lines of "we do not cry now because we actually have to go and do something. We'll mourn later." That's to me, that actually speaks to the Mexican authenticity of, like, no llores, we'll do it later. We got shit to do. I was just like blown away by that.
And I made a comment in the chat, with respect to the person saying it, and I'm not disrespecting them, I'm disagreeing with them, and I've just made a comment, which is, they're saying, well, she could have said something else instead of anti-imperialistas. Guess what? That's culturally relevant, because if you studied Latin American history, there has been hundreds of years of bloody, horrible imperialism, right? From the Spanish, from Europe, right? From the Portuguese, then from Americas, right? I mean, we've overthrown most of the countries in Latin America in the last century, right? In really horrible ways. And, and so I think, it is to pretend that that a concept of imperialistas does not exist in Latin culture. It's like pretending the Pakistanis and Indians still aren't upset about British colonialism.
And Mark D, and Mark D with the C, there's a saying in Mexico, so far from God, too close to America.
Well, Mark is a very smart guy.
It's the duality. It's the duality. And when she throws down her trenchas, her braids, she's saying that she's an Adelita, which were the Mexican women that fought in the Revolutionary War. They had their braids and they would roll them up. Princess Leia, that was a direct homage to that, was they would roll up their braids so they can shoot. Yeah, or roll them down and have the carabines. Anyways, that's all homage to that. It's also part of Latin American history that the one thing they have in common is that they have been invaded, right? Intervened is a nicer word, whatever you want to use, by so many times from the United States. It's just a fact. So yes, that's thrown in there. To me, it doesn't weigh down the story. All right.
And Mark says in a later comment that he was joking. Forgive me, Mark, that I didn't get the joke. I didn't get the Princess Bride reference. I go with literalism because Mark is a very smart guy and very smart YouTuber. But a lot of the guys I've dealt with on YouTube, everything's very literal for them. Like they hear a Batman is the Batman's fashion. I mean, it's one of the funniest lines in the movie because it's not about Batman. It's about George Lopez's character being a weirdo, being a conspiracy freak, right? That is a mocking him. And everyone got it in the context of what was happening. It's not saying anything about Batman. It's saying George is out there. He's crazy. He's local.
Also, too, you got to remember, too, he just was saying how much he loves and respects Ted Kord in Blue Beetle. He had no idea. He's just discovering, oh, my God, Ted Kord was Blue Beetle. That was my dude back when I was a kid. This, and that. And then Jaime says, well, that's not Batman's. Batman's a fascist. Blue Beetle had a sense of humor. That's the second part of the line, the second part of the thought.
People never get the second part of the line. They don't get context. And that's the silliness of context. This is that, you got to, without context, anything sounds bad. Anything sounds bad, and that's why when people were, you and I've had different opinions on Barbie. I hope you see it again. Maybe you'll see another episode. But some of the comments I've had by people who haven't seen Barbie but say, I heard this YouTuber say this line. I was like, yeah, didn't you don't know the context of the line? It was very funny in the context, but if you're taking the line out of context and just repeating it on YouTube,
right?
You're not.
I think if
go see the movie,
I think if
understand what the line was.
Again, I think this goes back to the Wokoso agenda of the marketing, to where they could put that in the trailer out of context. I thought that was a bad move. I thought that you didn't even like the trailers. That was horrible.
I didn't like the trailers. I was going to go.
Can we all agree with that one? You know what I'm saying? Like, that was ridiculous.
But you see, this is the issue that we still have to deal with. I have said, and I continue to say, based on my own experiences as a working screenwriter, I just actually had lunch with one of my mentors, Mike Caleri, who wrote Face Off and the original Tomb Raider, right? And so he's great. He was one of my mentors, and we had lunch there, and we're talking about stuff and about the industry. And so there's an absolute change on the executive storytelling level of getting away from Wokoso stuff. The problem is the marketing departments still have a lot of these characters in them, or if they're not Wokoso by their ideology, they that's what they've been trained to do over the last 7 years. So they don't know how to market. They don't understand that their marketing is out of touch with culture and society now. They don't get it.
We got 88 votes happening. Do you think it deserves a trilogy? 26% saying yes. No manches, no way. Let him roll up into the Justice League. 74%. I think either way, I think we all want to see Jaime Reyes, Xolo Maridueña back as the Blue Beetle for sure in the future. At least I do. We had super. Go ahead.
Come back. He's gonna come back. I'm sorry. I just want to say that.
Let's take a break. We had
already saying it was a bomb. I'm already seeing YouTubers saying that it's not a bomb. It's one movie this weekend, right? And I believe it's going to continue through word of mouth because I am spreading word of mouth. I'm telling people you got to go see this. I'm telling, and people on my Patreon are like, I wasn't going to go see this until I saw your positive review, and then I saw Polly's review, and now that's changing the perspective, right? So I think it's going to have legs.
I do too, especially since it's going to keep opening up in other markets. It's going to be. It also depends on what else is the competition out there. But let's give some thanks to the super chats and to the new memberships. I guess there were some problems with YouTube unsubbing, unsubscribing, unmembershiping people. Do me a favor right now. We're going to play some videos, but double check, guys, if you're subscribed to the channel. You might be surprised. We'll be right back.
Arr. Noise.
Arr.
Hey, do a mariachi one.
Oh my God. All right, back here on the Latino Slant. My name is Pauly. We have a wonderful crowd with us. I love this average. It's going up every week. We're averaging 40 people, 50 people, 60 people, up to over 80 people average. I mean, that's beautiful. I want to thank you guys, new and old, friends, amigos. Thank you guys for being here. Let's bring in our wonderful friend, Kamran Pasha, novelist, writer. Let's bring in some friends. What do you say, Cameron? You got a couple minutes to hang out with us?
Absolutely.
Ándale pues. I've checked out this lady's channel and her reviews. We even did a video together a couple weeks ago, but her first time live here with us. Sin of Sin's Corner. Hola.
Hello, ¿cómo están todos? I'm a little nervous because it's live and it's a big audience. Hi, Cameron. Nice to meet you.
What a pleasure. I'm always saying he has to. The reason I love this channel is Pauly always brings a lovely Latina. So thank you. These videos are always on other channels. There's always a bunch of nerdy, greasy dudes, and now we have lovely Latinas.
I'm not Latina though. Surprisingly.
Oh, whatever. Latina vibe. You're
vibe.
Latina adjacent. You're adjacent because you're adjacent to him.
Right.
It's all
He's
cool.
in the culture.
It's okay. My
He's
husband thought I was Latina when he first saw me. He's Mexican.
I'm not crazy.
What he thought.
Boom.
Well, welcome.
How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Well, we're rocking, man.
I know you guys had a fun time, I'm sure.
Yes.
At the screening the other day. I wish I could have been there, but I'm all the way on the other side of the country. Oh well.
Yeah, were you South Carolina or wait?
I'm in the South.
You're in the South, and how
You
has the
can't
reaction been with what you've seen and people going to see it?
Well,
great T-shirt, by the way.
Thank you. I stole it from my son. It's his movie theater shirt because Cinemark for the first time in forever started promoting movies on their shirts.
Smart.
And it was Blue Beetle, and so I stole it from him when I did my review, and I stole it from him for the live stream. But I feel like, so obviously we didn't have the numbers at the theater that you guys did because you just have a higher percentage of Latino audiences. Like you were talking about, this was very heavily marketed towards them and about them. But we had a pretty sizable crowd. I think our theater was in a big room, and I think it was well over half full, and the audience seemed to enjoy it. I mean, there was laughing, there was some clapping, and some emotional moments. This movie turned around for me when the father died.
Oof.
Not that it was going in a bad direction, but it was just like, it just felt like, oh, this is lighthearted. Oh, okay. And then that happened, and I was like, oh, crap. Okay. This got heavy real quick. So, yeah.
Yeah, and Xolo rose to the occasion dramatically.
Absolutely.
What a great moment.
I want to make a reference about that because the two projects that I've said are comparable that people haven't watched. I'm hoping they will watch Blue Beetle, and it's been the same problem: bad marketing and a mistake that they were ethnic focused rather than universal. Is Blue Beetle and Ms. Marvel, and they're both similar in that respect. Is that they're both family things. Any culture can get them. They're about traditional family values, about love, community, and all these things. And both of them are led by incredibly likable actors. So Xolo is an incredibly likable actor, right? And Ms. Marvel, Iman Vellani, she just sparkles. She's just sparkles. I've never seen anything like it.
The same factor. Yes. I mean, I heard that she's co-writing a comic book series, limited
and she
series.
really is that. She is a comic book geek at heart.
I think that's such a great move, but because they see her value, like Xolo, but again, I think they should have hit that Cobra Kai. Did you like that marketing idea I had?
It was a good idea.
I mean, I'm like, you're doing events at a taco place. I mean, of course they're gonna go. You gave the Latinos free tickets. What the fuck are you doing? What is your problem?
I mean, anyway. there may be some issues with Warner Brothers and Netflix and the rights of doing anything reference to, but you can find a way to parody it. You can find a way to parody
there's a way to and this is all before the strike, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously not having Xolo really hurt this film.
Yeah.
He is so likable. And they had saved that video when he first was the director announced that he was the Blue Beetle, and then they called his grandmother, and they just released that last week. But yeah, I think he went missing. Let's bring in another friend of the channel. The channel is the Basco Scenario, but his name is Gaiscar, and it's Basque.
That's right. It's Basque.
I'm a first. You're Portuguese? You're Portuguese?
No, I'm Spanish. My parents immigrated to Canada from northern Spain, the Basque country.
Okay, yeah, Basque country. So right by the mountains,
So I speak Portuguese as well.
Bienvenidos, hermano. What's happening?
It's going good, man. Listen, you were on my channel giving your quick one, and you got. Well, I was already planning on going it because anything that's Hispanic, Latino, I like to go check out those movies in the theater when they come up here in Canada, obviously. And we checked it out, and a bunch of us that listened to you enjoyed it. But I have to say, the whole family thing, it's not only Latinos, like you say, like the marketing was done really, really shady for it, because any working class family can relate to this family story and the struggles of, staying out of trouble, keeping your head down, do your studies. in order for the next generation to be successful, to be that lawyer-in-law like Cholo was portraying, right? With this nice little Gotham College crest on his shirt that he had in the movie. So really enjoyed it. Yes, it was a typical origin story, but what made it separated this movie completely was the family dynamic. You know, and for me, I was into it from the very beginning. When the music started, Calle 13 with Atrévete, that I was like, I was singing it in the theater. My wife was nudging me.
Great score.
100%.
Yeah, the music was great.
The gentleman who did Hereditary, and Midsummer, the same cinematographer on that film, on those two films. So the look and the sound were incredible. The soundtrack was like Latin America come alive. I was just like, you had everything from like you said, Calle 13 to Soda Stereo, Celso Piña, cumbias, even an old punk rock song called Demolition, and that was the song they played when remember when Jaime landed right on the water and then he just started going nuts. That kind of rock tune. Yeah, that was called Demolition.
And you can't forget the last one, Cypress Hill. I ain't going out like that at the end.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Well, that was how they blended that in was awesome.
And in the end credit scene, there was an Air Supply song. I'm a huge Air Supply fan.
Was it really?
There was in the end credit scene when you get, I won't reveal the end credit scene, but you get this, they're back at the lair and something turns on, music comes on, and it's I'm all out of love. I'm so lost with that. I'm a huge Air Supply fan. I've been listening to Air Supply all week for some reason, and I hear they're coming to LA and San Diego next couple of weeks, so I plan to go. But I mean, that's great. You gringos and us gringos wannabes got our Air Supply. We got our Air Supply.
Listen, the let's talk about that sequence where he was transforming in front of the family.
Ooh, that was gnarly, y'all. That was kind of disturbing to me. I mean, I liked it, but it was heavy.
But yeah, but because the mom's reaction, because the mom is afraid for her child. That was very visceral.
He looks like he was in terrible pain too. It looked terrible.
Well, it went up his.
Se le metió por el culo.
Went up his culo.
Well, can we take a moment here? Can we take a moment to talk about our incredible lead, the incredibly lovely Bruna? Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it. Marquezine, is that correct? As I'm pronouncing it correctly in Portuguese?
Oh, don't matter, man. She's fine.
But, you know,
Bruna.
and she was the love interest, and you know that the reason I'm really excited, you know, he's like when they found, he's like, oh, the beetle went up his butt in front of her. He's like, oh, I didn't go up my butt. I mean, it's like he's trying to keep his macho-ness in front of her. I mean, she is magical. I mean, I hear she's a big star in Brazil. I didn't know her, but I want to see more of her. She's great.
Fletcher, are you available?
Paulie brought her up.
If he doesn't know,
she was actually Paulie brought it up on a show we were on, and it's Neymar, the footballer's ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, and she's a.
Of course, if footballer dude gets that check, of course he does. Screw you, whatever, fine. Yeah.
Screw you and your millions.
Okay, so all you guys have done, what you have in common is that you've seen the film, you reviewed it for your channels, for your Patreon. You all have that in common. Pretty much, you know, liked it to loved it. I know Sin had some
issues.
They're fair issues. Let's bring this up. I was pretty disappointed seeing some of the clickbait saying this movie was a flop. And Paul, I trust for movie reviews. Go around, please, and give us your thoughts on that. I will be right back. I do have to check in with some.
So you're leaving it in our hands?
Yeah, I'll leave you. I'm going to leave you in Cameron's hands. Cameron, I trust.
Yeah, only in Cameron. Okay.
I'll be right back.
Well, ladies first. Do you think this movie's I know you have some critiques of it. Do you think this movie's a flop? What's your opinion on that?
No, I personally don't think it was a flop. I saw some people saying it was a flop before it even came out. That really got under my skin.
Well,
I'm disappointed that we didn't see any chanclas being thrown around, though. That's what I was half expecting the grandma to, pull one off and start hitting somebody with it. And that was a little disappointing, but no, that's okay. I don't think it was a flop. I had a feeling it wasn't going to be explosive first weekend, but I'm hoping that the positive word of mouth will help it. I hope it performs well.
Yeah, I think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be a slow burn to success,
probably.
like
Yeah.
the Sound of Freedom, because
Yeah.
what we're doing, and not only in our channels, but in our families and people, we go to work, we're just gonna start talking to coworkers and saying, "Hey, you should go check it out. You're gonna really enjoy it," and that's what we do, right? We're spreading the word on something that is good. It's a great family movie to and to watch, and I don't think it's a flop because we can't forget this was gonna be coming out on HBO Max.
I didn't
right?
realize that, you guys.
So it was
I
going to go to
didn't know
streaming.
that until recently
just-
that was the original plan. So that's really interesting that they changed
Exactly. So they had a certain budget for that, and then they extended the budget
Right.
in order to get it ready for the theater. But now, whatever it's making, it's going to end up making more money than what they thought of, because it was just going to be in Max,
Yeah.
and streaming. And oh yes, we're getting views, but they're not making really much music.
No, they're
much
not making money, and
from
they
it.
get to hide the views. It shows confidence
Exactly.
because they get to hide the views and they can pretend something's hit when it's not. They're putting this
100%.
out there, and it could have suffered. It could have suffered. What happened to Batgirl, right? It could have suffered that.
Correct.
He'll
Correct.
pull the plug. He pulled the plug on a finished movie that was being edited, right? But he didn't, and they didn't. They put this out there. I actually think a movie. I think it was on Max. But it was one of the streamers. A movie that should have been in the theaters was Prey, the Predator sequel. I love that
agree
movie.
with that.
I really, it would have made more money in the theaters.
Yes.
I saw it in a special theatrical screening here in LA, and I was like, this is a great Predator movie. It's really good, and I would have watched it in the theater again.
100%. That's a great point what you make. There's so many movies that come out on streaming. For example, Extraction.
I was getting ready to say that.
Yeah,
Yep,
Extraction. That
exactly.
If it would have
yes.
came in out in the theaters, it would have made a lot of money.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's one of the things that, touching on streaming, that's one of the things that's hurting movies today, in my opinion, is the fact that people can just stay home and wait till it comes out on streaming and not go to the theater and see it. I have a feeling that's what's hurting a lot of these movies that we're getting out there today.
Well, and the thing is, certain movies you need a theatrical experience to really. It was the experience for me of sitting there in this theater filled with Latino families. I was sitting next to an 8-year-old girl, and I was just watching. I was enjoying the movie objectively, but I was watching her enjoyment. She's a little child. Her eyes are wide. She's clapping wildly. She's laughing. She's scared. She's crying. It brought me back to me when I was her age watching Superman for the first time, right? Christopher Reeve, and I can still remember the feelings I had when he flew as a child.
Right.
It was beyond magic. I'm watching her reactions to Solo flying and all this, and then all the, I didn't get all of the cultural jokes because I'm not Latino, but it was being pulled in. Like some of I sensed there were some jokes about telenovelas that I didn't get and some animated jokes, but these were obviously popular kids programs in the Latino community. But I got that from the reactions of everyone. People like shaking with laughter at stuff that I didn't fully get, but I got pulled in by the theatrical community experience of their joy.
Well, this was a very Mexican immigrant family. It was very identified. It wasn't more American. The third generation there was, but even they were connected to, like you said, Maria del Barrio and Chapulín, Colorado. Whereas the more generations you spend in the United States, you might not have grown up with that at all. I did not grow up with Maria del Barrio. I knew about it. I knew about El Chisperito. I knew about Chapulín, Colorado, El Chavo de Ocho, but I didn't watch them every day. You know what I'm saying? But it still was hilarious because they were basically using their favorite soap opera to clown on different family members. Yeah. It was great. Thank you for that. I don't know did you guys really feel you guys got to answer that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we went around. We were on the table. We had some. Yeah.
I appreciate that. The Blue Beetle had no marketing where I live, Darth says. And then Rob MM, amen, Darth, amen. Rob and Darth always keep in the comments of videos and live stuff. I'll always keep the conversation going by really pointing out just, we'll be nice. The ignorance of Hollywood sometimes to straight up racist tactics. I mean,
yeah.
What do you think? What's your thoughts, Cynthia, on the Sin on the marketing of this film?
Well, you guys have already talked about it quite a bit. I don't know that I can add anything extra to it, but I do agree that the marketing wasn't done very well at all. And there's been a lot of talk in the chat about the Batman line. I agree that should have been kept out because that was just an immediate turnoff for some people. But yeah, it's unfortunate. I think if they had marketed it as a movie about family and family values, just no matter what, maybe that would have done a little better. But like you said, they did do that heavy focus on this is a movie for Latinos, so people are like, well, okay, then maybe I just won't go, and doesn't look good. So
this is the progressive thing of everyone has their table now. It's the resegregation of society. There's the black table, there's the Indian people table, right? Yeah. There's the Latino table. It's the and and now we've been having a lot of these schools, unfortunately, have been doing a lot of like only this is no white people allowed here. This is the black people or the minority people safe space. I'm like, dude, life ain't safe.
Okay, right.
Life ain't. I'm a minority. I'm a Muslim minority. I've lived through life not being safe, right? But that's it. You got to interact with society, right?
Yeah.
I don't want a safe space. I want to be in society, and that's the best way I can help society.
I'm wondering also too, like just how much money they didn't have after the Flash, because I'm sure the Blue Beetle would have loved some of that Flash money.
Oh, for sure, 100%. Because up here in Canada, the marketing was like close to none. Like around everywhere I went, I didn't see anything.
They've been playing it pretty heavily on the Spanish language TV here.
Sure.
Again, Spanish language
fantastic.
TV. Yeah.
That's great.
And like I said in the breaking down the box office, Latinos showed up. They were gonna show up.
Yeah.
That's my only argument is that soon as you're on Spanish market television, Spanish speaking television, Gente's gonna show up, and they hit that early, like about a month ago, which was like that's a great move.
They did it. They got into it. They didn't need to keep going.
Right. Now put that money into the gringo markets. Be creative. Don't just hit one taqueria in Houston and hey, it's me and HD. He said, hey, that I'm 10 blocks away from that taco shop. Hey, no disrespect to them.
Let's be honest here, and I'm not exaggerating when I say it's Hollywood racism. A lot of the people I work with here, their only perception of Latinos is their gardener. That's the perception of it. I mean, the people working in Beverly Hills here, Santa Monica, they got the Latino, working class people there. That's it. And they see that as an alien culture to them.
Right really on the 100 mark Q, Kamran Pasha. I know you posted on your Patreon. The numbers went up. I love this. I thank you so much.
I was so busy I forgot to do it earlier, so forgive me for that. But I put it there. I was so into this conversation. I was like, oh wait a minute, I didn't tell people about it. So
yeah, man. No, it's all good. We're here. We're here joined with Sin's Corner and the Bosco scenario. Can you make sure everyone's links are in the chat, the live chat, because everyone's got some great content and they're always very welcoming as well. I think it's important. Tequila Professor, our hombre in Mexico. Marketing sucked. Push Latinx in interviews.
Yes.
The only Hollywood bubble talks about Latinx.
And even that is changing. I will tell you right now, on screenwriter boards that I've been on recently, where the writers, big writers, a lot of famous writers talking, in the last month, I've been shocked to see all these progressive white people saying, I'm getting the message. Maybe I shouldn't be using Latinx. Maybe Latino is the proper term. And they're like, ooh, wow, could we have been wrong on this? We're having that conversation now.
You think
don't fix it if it's
not force change a language?
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Damn it!
Right.
I was like, their goal was to. I mean, I'm going to be careful what I say about some of these issues, but I think a lot of people's goals behind this is to take away the polarization of the masculine and the feminine. They want us all to be sort of like amorphous blobs, right? Without an identity, without a sexual energy. Interesting enough, they didn't try that with Arabic in the Muslim world, right? Arabic is a gendered language, right? Urdu is a gendered language. My language in Pakistan is a gendered language, right? They didn't try to create Arabic X because it wouldn't have gone well for them. So they thought they could do this with Latinos.
But you see, this is the great thing about this movie. We finally got a movie with family, a man,
Sing
a
it.
woman,
Say it.
and he gets the girl at the end, right?
It's the girl.
And
You
the
know,
beautiful
that's it.
girl.
Come on.
No joke. This is a beautiful girl. Holy crap.
Amen. But that's what I'm just saying is like, this movie has everything we've been asking for, right? And he must, because it was refreshing. The thing is when you go to the theater and you forget about the outside world and you're entertained and you're laughing, you're in your feels, and you walk out and you're like, damn, that was a good movie. And I didn't feel like I wasted my money on it.
And positive representation of
100%.
strong male characters as well. The strong father and Sholo's character. I like that they weren't made out to be idiots or backwards thinking people or anything like that. I really, really love the character of his father. I was so surprised to see him. I did not know that actor was going to be in there. So when he showed up, I was like, I know him. And I thought
where
he
did
did
you
a great
know
job.
the actor from?
Oh, I've seen him from several different Mexican movies, like El Infierno. I don't know if you've seen that movie. Okay.
I've reviewed all Luis Estrada's movies.
Oh, okay. Well, I've seen him. I saw him in another movie where he played a very bad cop and did very bad things. Wasn't a fan of that film.
Demian Alcozar is incredible.
He's a great actor.
And the cast of the family was 100%. It was perfect. It was perfect.
Although I heard Romy was up, your beloved Romy was up for the wife. She would have done a good job. She would have done a good job.
Well, even Adriana, man, she played in so many telenovelas.
Bro, Romy's got such balls on her, right? When she saw the director, she's like, "Oh yeah, I had your script. I went up for the mom, but yeah, I didn't hear anything."
Well, good. She confronted him. Good for her. She's great.
But it was very nice.
Yeah,
it was very Latino too. It was like, like.
Well,
I wonder how much control he had over who was cast, though.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of that.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, I thought it was a hilarious moment.
That is funny.
That is funny. We have a new poll in the chat. Okay, I put it up. How much do you think at the end of the day, after all is said and done, guys, and this can very well go into the first week of October, you have 6 major international markets opening up for the Blue Beetle mid-September: China, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, a couple others. How much do you think this will globally make at the end of the day? 500 million, 300 million, 100 million, 75 million. Vote now. And depending on what state you're in, vote often. You guys like that?
Let's keep it real.
Hey, I'm just saying. I'm like,
It will be interesting to see how this does in China, because I've worked in China. I actually spent several months in Beijing. And
Talk to me about that.
Look, I'm going to be honest. I've worked there. By the way, I have great respect for Chinese heritage and culture. I'm learning kung fu, right, with traditional Chinese teachers, and so and great respect for Taoism. I don't have a lot of respect for what the communists did to that country, right? And I was there to see it with my own eyes, right? And so there is. As you were there, going to hear that story. So, but there is a racist element to Chinese culture today, right? Correct. There is a racist element. African Americans don't do well there. I don't know how Latinos do. I, however, hope that this movie, and I'm going to give you a reason why, that this movie will transcend any ethnic or bigotries or issues, because it is such a universal family film. And the parallel I'm going to give of you, when I was working in China, the #1 movie in China, which shocked everyone in China when I was in Beijing, was The Life of Pi. People were flooding the theaters to see that, and it wasn't just because Ang Lee, a Chinese origin director, was Taiwanese, was directed. That's not the reason. People were there because even though it's an Indian family at the center of it, an Indian kid, right? It was the magic and the spirituality that they've been deprived in this materialistic communistic culture, all right? And they wanted, people were flooding it to get a sense of God and spirituality and all the issues that movie explores. And they were just going in and again and talking about the issues. So I think that the Chinese people are hungry for a lot of stuff. They've been through a bad few, 30, 40 years, one-child policy, all kinds of stuff that screwed up their families. So I think looking for a family movie might overcome any issues about, do we identify with Latinos? I mean, they went to see Life of Pi with a bunch of Indian people, right? And India is actually a rival to China. They have military bad history, right? And people went to see that movie. So I'm hoping Blue Beetle will benefit.
I think that's interesting, because I'm also thinking about Japan. because it comes at the same time. And RRR just finished its run there, an incredible run.
Wow.
So I think they're definitely used to brown people. Japan, Vietnam, I forgot what other country. They are incredibly into the Chicano culture. They do the lowriders. They do the look, the
Philippines
fashion
as well. Philippines was
Philippines.
colonized
The
by
Philippines.
Spain. Yeah, and so so
Now-
Philippines has a lot of Spanish heritage.
In a recent documentary, I saw American Homeboy, which was about the 100 years of Chicano history here in the States. There's a segment where they go to Japan, and it shows all these Japanese cars, fashion. And one of the guys that they interviewed from here saying, you know, what's so amazing what the Japanese do and have been doing is that they take the beauty of our culture without any of the horrors, without any of the gangs, without any of that. And I'm like, man, that's like how we do with anime here in the West. It's like a reverse. So I'm wondering if the look and feel of Blue Beetle and then like the synth look and all that stuff, I think it's going to play really well in Japan, guys.
Yeah, I think so.
agree with you.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Also, remember both Japan and Vietnam. American soldiers were there for quite some time, right? And so there's a long history that they got to interact with Black soldiers, Latino soldiers. There's a different experience than China had. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. You guys go please.
No, I was gonna say the whole anime part. Remember, there's a scene where he does the move with the sword, which apparently that comes from like it's a traditional move in Japanese animation, right? Where he makes the big broadsword when he gives it any weapon you want, you can imagine it.
Yeah,
and he brings it around, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like Battle of the Planets and all those old Japanese things, right? You know, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there was two scenes that I really that I liked. The whole grandmother at the end of the movie planting the cactus again at the house.
The nopal, right?
And then you had the scene of Da Vinci's The Creation of Adam, right?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, I noticed that.
Where they're touching, he's in the afterlife, and he's touching the fingers, where that's where he becomes and accepts to become one with the symbiote, right?
With Kajira.
Yeah, with Kajira. Yeah. Those two scenes there, and of course the scene with the father, by far, we already talked about how choked up that was, but those scenes for me were like, wow, you know, the perseverance of a family of moving forward no matter what comes in your way, right? And it's like you said before, it's the constant immigration struggle, right? Like my parents came here not knowing how to speak English or French, and they had to, like, you know, work and everything and learn, and, you know, cleaning toilets, cleaning whatever it is, until they got the jobs and they were able to sustain their family, right? It's just it was refreshing to see a story like that again. And, you know, it's a story that it's not only Latinos, it's you know, any, like you said, Pasha, before, you know, it's any immigrant family coming in from Ireland and back in the day, you know, that populated the United States and Canada, you know, that's what they had. They came with nothing and they had to work.
It's the Godfather. It's the Godfather. It's Godfather 2. You see the struggles of the immigrants in Godfather 2 in the flashbacks.
Yes, exactly. And it was great to see. And I know that went a little bit there because of my memory and my.
No, that was. I think you're on point. And this was a screenshot that someone had took from the theater.
Look at this. This was such a beautiful scene. This it's beautifully shot. This, I mean, aside from being incredibly emotional, I mean, this is reference to, like you said, some of the greatest art ever made, right? I mean, it's Michelangelo.
Yeah, that's Da Vinci's Creation of Adam. Yeah.
Is I'm sorry. This is in Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel.
I think so. Yeah, it's on the roof.
Yeah. So that's I think that's Michelangelo. Am I wrong? It's
no, it's Da Vinci.
Okay. Thank you for correcting me. Okay.
Yeah, it's great. I can actually. It's this one here. I think I have it up.
And it's one of God, the bearded man. Yeah.
Yeah, and
actually, it is Michelangelo.
Michelangelo, you're right. I stand corrected. Yes, Michelangelo.
It's all good.
Yeah,
it's all good. It's all good. But that's that's a universal story. I mean, that's a universal image that we all subconsciously get.
Right. Yeah. I recognized it right away. I did not get the significance of all the candles around the father in that one scene where he sees him. Apparently, that I think it was one of Polly's videos that I was watching. Yeah.
So is it like church candles? I saw. I mean, I noticed it as well. I thought it referenced like Catholic church candles. Is that what it referenced?
It meant it's. I think
no. It's a Day of the Dead reference
movie or something, right? You said it was also. Wasn't there like a movie where they had a scene similar to that, where all these candles were around?
Yes, I'm actually trying to find the photo. The movie is called Macario. And it's the most famous. It's considered the one of the greatest Mexican films ever. Yeah. And it is it's basically about a very poor man who's trying to find a better life for his children. They're all indios, pobres. But there is a afterworld scene. And give me a second. Something in my eye.
Well, while you're looking for that, I want to make a reference. I was taking here to my friend Stephanie Janisek, who's a wonderful YouTuber and a good friend of mine. So, Stephanie is a very, very devout Catholic and very, very proud of her Catholic heritage. This movie is very respectful to Catholicism. Catholicism is a very important part of Latino culture, right? And there's a lot of references. It's not made fun of. Religion's not made fun of here. And there's a really beautiful moment, I think, when he's looking at and there's the Virgin of Guadalupe image where he sees on the screen. I mean, it's very. I mean, Hollywood in this recent generation has been very hostile to religious faith. As a religious Muslim, this is something I've dealt with for 22 years as a working screenwriter. But this is an example of them, even if it's all purely economic reasons, of figuring out the market has faith in it, and Catholicism has been a big thing that this town's been against for a while, and that's a turn. And again, if practical, they recognize the Latino market they want to get cares about religion, and it's important.
And it's also the funny part about it, right? You can laugh at the whole religious part of the family when he's like combining with the Blue Beetle, right? Where she starts doing the Holy Cross and trying to look for like.
No, but it isn't funny in a vicious way. It's not mocking them for having this.
No, exactly. But it's something that would happen, right?
Yeah.
And then you get George Lopez's famous line, se le metió por el culo. It was well done. That whole family.
It was exactly what they did with Ms. Marvel. That Islam is just a background thing as a Pakistani Muslim is there, and it's very funny. And again, it's not disrespectful. As someone who's been fighting disrespect on my religion for 20 years in the industry, it's a very positive thing that they did in Ms. Marvel. That again, it's just part of the naturalness of their lives, and it can be done in a humorous but loving way.
I guess. Paul
in regards to in regards to Catholicism, this is a Catholic family. I mean, it's no doubt. I mean, he's even praying in Spanish when he's falling from back into the atmosphere. He's got I don't know what saint it is, but he's wearing a saint.
Which one's the saint of protection? I think that's the one that's Guadalupe, no? Check that out.
Yeah, I'd have to watch.
I know you see the Virgin in a shot.
Well, there's a Virgin altar. No, that's for sure. And of course, there's the crossing. But no, it was done. I thought that was done very well. I want to bring up the image of a Macario, and you're gonna get it right away, Cameron. Where did my images go?
You used it in your review, I think, or one of your videos.
I know. I just get rid of stuff because
I hold on to everything.
Oh, do you? No, stuff just
never
builds
know when
up,
I might need it again. I know, yeah, it can.
I have this weird thing where every now and then, like files disappear from my computer, and I don't know why. Maybe it's
I think we should all go back to Rolodex.
But I was working on something last night, and I couldn't find the file, and I freaked out. But I found it hidden somewhere. Oh, here, look at that! Wow, look at that! Look at that image.
So this is from 1960, the film 61.
Okay.
Cannes Film winner, like the whole thing, like it never been done before. Mexican cinema. This is obviously in the afterlife, and Angel Soto said we're paying homage to it right away. If you remember, the Nana is watching this movie early on in the film. Then later, Jaime walks into the house in his dream state, and he sees all these candles behind the dad, who's just sitting in his lazy boy. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was
that hit
Rudy?
me as well because my dad had his favorite chair. He had his favorite thing that was his sofa, right? Yeah, that was his, right? So.
What was your question there?
Who was Rudy that they referenced at the end of the credits?
I'd have to take a look at that again.
Oh, okay.
But really
I
fast,
looked up
here's
to
the
find
dad, Demi Alcozar. And I don't know if people in the chat, if you remember who Elpidia Carrillo is, she was in Predator.
Took me forever to realize that was her because it's
Yep.
been so long since I've seen her.
I had the hots for her. When that movie came out in Predator, I was like, oh, she's
that's the chick from Predator.
Oh, she was just like so
So
strong
unlike
and
Aliens,
sensual.
they actually had a Latina playing a Latina.
Her best
Alien,
line.
a nice woman with brown face who did a wonderful job, right? But
Yeah.
at least they had a Latina playing a Latina.
And so yeah, her best line was when she says, "Let me talk to Kajida and Jaime. Kajida, get in there. You two guys, get it together. Use the pain that we feel, that we're all feeling, and get it together." I mean, that was her big line, you know, because she, you know, I think of all the family members, she had the less screen time. There was a little, you know, kind of a cluster there.
It's what you're saying is exactly 100% what happened at the end, right? When he loses control, and it was Kajida that stopped him, right? So there you can see how it flipped, where she became the righteous conscience and what they want to both represent and not kill.
And that was another thing, Cameron and Sin, is that was the gradual kind of marriage of Kajida and Jaime, to where that got a big applause when she finally spoke in Spanish to him, which I thought.
Yes.
What did you guys think of that? What did you guys think of that relationship?
Go ahead, Sin.
It reminded me of some other movies I've seen, Upgrade, and there was also an Indian movie I watched a couple years ago called Attack Part 1.
Upgrade was a very good movie. I mean, very few people saw it, but it was a good movie.
Not a lot of people saw it, but obviously Upgrade was much darker in tone.
Yeah.
But it reminded me of that. Like in Attack Part 1, he had to learn how to relinquish control to this entity that could take care of things better than him. And I did like that she was well, I call her an AI. I know she wasn't an AI, but I like that was how he was able to do all the kick-ass stuff he could do, despite having no training at fighting, that he could do it because the suit was making him do that.
Yeah, he's a marionette. He doesn't know how to do it.
Yes, exactly. That, you know, obviously, you know, when you see a superhero character or someone thrust into this moment and they can all of a sudden do all this magical stuff, and it's like, yeah, okay, I'm not buying it. Like, I didn't buy that George Lopez's character could fly that aircraft. I was like, yeah.
She flew it too. The mom flew it too.
Yeah, I forgot about that. See, so like these.
Did that bother you? Did that ruin it for you?
No, nothing ruined this for me. Even the issues I had with it, none of that ruined it for me. But I remember mentioning in my review that I did especially like that they show that he's not the one in control. That's why he can do all this awesome stuff. So yeah, I like their relationship. The part when she spoke Spanish, that didn't really do too much for me. It felt a little, I don't know, I felt a little cringe when I heard her say, I don't know, that didn't ring true to me, but it made sense, obviously, because
when the mom spoke Spanish or when the grandma?
No, the Kajida.
Oh,
Kajida.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That didn't ring. But as far as the parents, you know, the multi-generational family, I thought how it was so accurately represented. You know, we had the abuela, and she didn't speak any English. Yeah. And because she hadn't, you know, because that's the way it is with a lot of the families here. The older generations, they haven't really assimilated with the language. Then you have the children who they have, and then you have their children who are fully into it. And I thought that
American.
was, I thought that was represented really well, especially like with the language. You know, the children had no accent, no dialect or anything. The mother and
I
father
mean, it's also what they do in Cobra Kai. In Cobra Kai, Miguel's grandma.
Yeah, the
And
grandmother.
one moment where she speaks in English, even in broken English, is very emotional because she's trying to connect with Johnny, right? Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it was just like
Go ahead.
respect, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter. It's like a show of respect to the host that she chose.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's
The sister, really quick, Belissa Escobedo. I know a lot of people thought she was real cringy. I thought that was her character, her age. She was like, that was on point. And then she got some hard lessons in life. I mean, she actually, sorry guys, this is a major spoiler.
Yeah.
Okay. She was there for the death of her dad. I think
that was a powerful moment. And
yes, it was.
her reaction was visceral.
Yes. Yeah,
It was great.
absolutely.
Yeah, I think you had some issues with her character, right?
I did have some problems with her character, especially in the beginning. I just wasn't clicking with her. She was cringy. She just wasn't. It just felt like she was a little over the top. But then there were moments when she really had to turn on the emotion.
Right.
I thought it worked really well. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
Gaskar?
Yeah.
I agree with Sin. The beginning, I was like, she's gonna be this annoying, like a preaching kind of sister, but it all changed when he came home with the box.
Yeah.
That's when everything changed.
Yeah.
With the typical que lo abra, que lo abra.
I love that scene when they're all cheering him on when he's trying to go for the job interview, and they're making a big scene because that's what our immigrant families do. They make big scenes because they're so full of love.
Yeah, exactly. We can all relate to that. Open up your gift. Okay, everybody wants to see your reaction to it, right? And the curiosity of what you got. So.
But let's be honest too. She was the Latinx in the family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Rudy was the old school, paranoid conspiracy guy who was into gadgets and stuff like that. And Jaime was just Jaime was really the embodiment of his grandmother and his parents, and just wanting to find a way to take care of everybody. I love his connection with his dad.
Oh,
I mean, when's the last time you saw that in film, guys?
That was beautiful.
Wow. Miss Marvel does that really well too.
Yeah. I mean, one of the most emotional moments of Miss Marvel, for most people who haven't seen it, you should still watch it, is there's a great moment where daughter and father bond, and again. It's the father is he's proud of her. He wants her to be careful with her new superpowers. It's a very again because we have this perceptions. Abusive Muslim man must be abusing his daughter and treating her poorly. It's a very real dynamic between those two. And again, fathers and children's. It's coming back to Hollywood. You guys have to watch this stuff to get more of it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So okay. Here's what I would like to do. First, I want to thank all over 90 people hanging out with us still. It's
nice.
Beautiful and amazing. Cool. Can you guys make sure you are subscribed, not only to my channel, but to all these lovely people here? And I get so much great information from Kamran Pasha's Patreon. Consider becoming a Patreon member over there. What do you like, over 300-400 members?
We're almost at 400.
Nice.
Wow.
And as and having a good time. It's actually evolved into a very intelligent community. There's a lot of conversations, a lot of revelations. People bring in stuff that I hadn't thought about. We had some intense discussions about Barbie because I love Barbie, and
I'll go see it again.
We see it again with another perspective, but I loved it. But it doesn't matter. But on my channel, there's a lot of conversations. The only rule I established was that people had to actually have watched the movie to talk about it, because I'm tired of people talking about movies based on what somebody else said. I'm just not interested. Like, when people are talking crap about Blue Beetle right now based on what some YouTuber said or some, why don't you watch it yourself and then critique it? Right? But I'm not interested, and nor is it's no value to anybody that you're just regurgitating what somebody else said. It doesn't show any authenticity. Come watch it and then say you hate it, and let's have a conversation.
Really fast. We had the polling going on the last one. We finished that one. Here was the final tally. 93 votes. Wow. Thank you. 26% said yes, give Jaime a trilogy. 73% said no, but put him in Justice League. I think we can all agree we want to see more Jaime more Jaime. That's fair.
And they're going to. They're going to. Even if it doesn't make a huge amount of money, the reality is, just again from the economic viewpoint, they know Latinos are the future of the audience. They know that, right? They may be bumbling at how to get to them and how to get others to watch stuff that they think they're targeting for them. They're bumbling that, but they know that the Latinos future. That's one of the reasons why Barbie has the two humans at the center of it are Latinas. They're women. They're Latin women, and there's a reason that they're making these choices. He's going to come back just from the point of view of money.
Any last thoughts on the film or anything like that? I do want to do a slight pivot and have a little fun with you guys here on the panel. So I have a video ready. But any lasting things that you get, final thoughts on the film, guys? Sin?
Something that I meant to mention earlier. You stepped away, but I mentioned I was disappointed that there were no chanclas being thrown around. And
coming episode 2, the sequel. We're gonna see them.
We better.
Part 2, man. How do you think he travels in space and get? What do you think he's gonna attack the Reach with? Chanclazos.
I told my daughter's boyfriend there were no chanclas, and he was like, "They failed."
They failed.
He's
Honey,
from
there
Puerto
was no
Rico, so
chanclas in Blue
it's
Beetle.
a thing. There's no chanclas.
Nope.
But something that I did like also was that, and I did not mention this in my review. So he goes to school, he goes to college. They're in debt, big debt, and that college degree meant squat. It didn't do anything for him. And the sister was like, "I'm not going to go in debt." And I was like, I actually like that messaging because I feel like it would be better if more people just kind of went to something like a trade school as opposed to this
and actually
huge
get a practical skill.
Exactly.
Yeah. Look, I went to college. I got an impractical
So did
degree
I.
that was religion. However, it's not impractical because my religion majors guided me to become a great storyteller. At least I hope I'm a great storyteller, but at least a professional writer, because all my screenwriting is based on principles of religious storytelling, how the Bible, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita work. Why do those stories? And so that didn't end up being useless. It ended up being quite useful. But find something you love, and you'll make money with it. And you don't have to listen to anybody saying you have to get XYZ degree. You just have to do what you love.
Yep. Agreed.
Okay, we have one more. Gascar, did you want to say?
Yeah, I just want to say Charlie Maridueña, man, he was amazing in this role.
Yeah.
This movie suited him perfectly.
It did.
And I'm really, really excited to see how this actor, as an actor, what other roles he gets from this and other projects in the future, because I think he's an up and comer for sure.
Final vote, final poll. We did 70. Wait, no. Where's the other one? How do you?
There was another poll.
I had another one.
I'm curious to see what that ended up being. I couldn't vote in it.
Yeah, this is the final success. Where will Blue Beetle end up?
Survey says.
Okay. Wait, why do I keep doing that? I keep getting the wrong one. Okay. Give me you know what?
Sí se puede. Sí se puede. Sí se puede.
Let's run through this real quick. KN Kareen. It's also National Cinema Day on the 27th.
Right.
You only pay $4, guys.
Wow.
$4 at the theater.
It's up from $3, which was last year was $3, I think.
Okay, where do you think Blue Beetle will end up, guys? That is the final poll here, and we completed it with 78 votes. Really cool you guys are voting so much. Let's get this.
Awesome.
And where are you? Here's the final tally. Okay. It's going to end 8% say over 500 million. 40% though, 75 million, 2,400 million, 52%, 300 million globally.
Yep. I think it's at least going to do 300. Yes.
Okay.
If I could have voted,
and then it'll be profitable. It'll be profitable at that.
Yeah. I think it's going to at least. Let's hope. I mean, let's hope. As long as people, some of the clickbait stuff going on YouTube, y'all, it's really frustrating.
Yeah, but it's losing its mojo. I mean, look, most of these channels don't want me on anymore, right? Because I speak from the heart. If I like something, I like it. If I don't like it, I don't like it. And it's something I predicted for a long time. Sadly, a lot of people just not in it. They're not in it for truth. They're just in it to. This is a source of revenue for them, and they're going with whatever they think their audience wants. But the great thing about this channel is Paulie is a leader. He will tell the truth as he sees it. He's respectful of those who disagree, but he's a leader. He's out there in the Latino community. Who gets access to directors like that and getting these major stars and people onto his channel? And it's because he's an authentic guy, and that's why this channel is the kind of future we're going to have. The grumblers and they have their moment. It's going to get smaller. I've talked to some of these channels. They were grumbling about how they're losing subscribers. I'm like, do you know why you're losing subscribers? Because you're not real.
Yeah, some of them I just don't watch anymore.
Well, to their credit, I don't, I'm talking to the credit of Critical Drinker, Mark, and Fatal J. They've given some very fair and positive reviews of Blue Beetle, which that's pretty cool. Really fast. Karen comes in another $1.99. I saw it twice and telling everyone to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
10 Canadian dollars. Costas Lavranos. Big fan of the movie. Glad to feel like a tide has turned out there and we can hope for good things to come. This has everything everyone has been complaining about. It's a good story, entertaining, popcorn flick, great message about family. Olaf, Paul, Indo, in my experience, is Indonesia, not India. You're absolutely right. My bad. Okay. We think we got through all the super chats. You guys can keep on super chatting if you'd like. We love that here. I'm not going to lie. We love making money while we're having a good time. I appreciate you all here on the panel. And of course,
thank you for having
the
me.
great novelist, writer, screenwriter, Kamran Pasha. But let's have a little fun. We're going to end this with a little fun, guys. We're not that we weren't having fun, but we have a segment called Latinos Pronounce. And I'm going to bring a video up where they're going to this one is about football, the names of football teams. We're going to have two Latino brothers and they're going to try to pronounce them. But I want to see if you could guess how they're going to pronounce it. And yes, it's a little wrong. And yes,
it's all good.
It's a little un-PC, but you know what? We don't care. We want to have a little fun.
Oh, no.
Okay.
That's okay, no problem, man.
L team's card for
Louis.
Okay, Chicago Bears. Okay? Anyone want to take a crack on?
¿Cómo se llama ese equipo de fútbol?
Bars. Chicago Bars.
Okay. Sin?
I don't know how they would. I don't know. Beares? I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea.
All right.
Beares?
You ready, Gascar?
Los Bears de Chicago.
Okay, here we go.
Esos son los Chicago Bears.
Chicago
I did not expect that one. The beard.
This is how language evolves. If you wonder how the Australian accent happened, this is how it evolved. We're all going to be saying Chicago Bear.
Bears, right?
That Bears.
I was trying to pronounce it how I would think that a Latino would pronounce it phonetically because Spanish is a phonetic language.
Well, now you know. Are we ready for the next one? I'm going to
get all these wrong.
That's good. Let's get it like that.
Hey, Sergio.
How you doing, guys?
¿Cómo se llama ese equipo?
Okay, Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, no.
Anyone?
Dallas Cowboys.
Nice. Dallas
Cowboys.
Okay.
Dallas Cowboys. Just curious to hear.
All right, here we go. You guys are like, I just want to hear them.
Los Cowboys.
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 And a reference to Brokeback Mountain. Dollars, Cowboys.
Only fans. Dollars, Cowboys. Solo fanos.
Oh, no.
Los Caballeros de Dallas.
I want to thank Fletcher Williams for bringing this video to my attention. Hours of entertainment here, guys.
Wow.
Hours.
We can go on all night
Raiders.
for this.
I get the way.
Oh, my gosh.
English Badgers. Thanks, Polly. Okay, we ready for the next one? Okay, you're ready. All right, here we go.
Okay, Luis, ya está aquí. Esos son los
Was that the Falcons?
This is the Atlanta Falcons.
Atlanta
How is he going to say it?
Falcons. Falcons.
Say it a little louder, Cynthia.
Falcons or Falcons?
Falcons.
I don't know.
Okay.
Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta Falcons.
Okay.
It's probably
Atlanta Falcon.
Falcon. Okay, here we go. Here we back it up.
Ok, Luis, ya está aquí.
Esos son los Atlanta Falcons.
¡Oh! Atlanta Falcons.
Te lo dije. Te lo dije. Toma, compa.
Atlanta Falcon.
I'm in Montreal, man. We have cones all over the place.
In 50 years, people in Iowa are going to be talking like this, man. That's the future.
Told you no tea. Oh, I love. You know what? I just love being so wrong. I mean, this is fun. Come on.
You got to be able to laugh at
Of course
ourselves.
it's
We're all
fun.
silly.
It's hilarious. I mean, this reminds me of when my family and I used to get my husband to say English curse words.
There you go. There
He
you
had a
go.
very
Here we
strong
go.
accent. It was hilarious.
Where's his accent from?
Well, he's from Mexico.
Oh,
Yeah.
you love the Latinos. Look
Sí,
at you.
él es de el estado de Tamaulipas, la ciudad
Tamaulipas. See, that's
de
why Cameron he honed in on your Latinidad right away, Sin.
Yeah. That's Latina pronunciation.
Well, I've only been trying for 30 plus years, and I'm not nowhere near where I want to be. But I think I had mentioned to you at one point he was from the same city where Eduardo Verástegui is from.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hail Eduardo Verástegui.
Yeah. I'm trying to get him to go see Sound of Freedom.
Oh, great dude. Okay, here we go. Let's go.
Well,
Let's
before
go.
we do that, I want to. You have to be able to laugh yourself. There's a great channel. I'm gonna throw a link into the chat called React 2.0, which is basically they go to a village in India, like a little village in India, and they make these guys watch, and sometimes women, they're just villagers, watch like classic movies like Predator or Alien or Terminator, and then get their reactions. And it's just like, and I mean, it's the funniest thing ever. Seeing these villagers who are watching like The Exorcist for the first time, right? And you're getting the like the Indian villager.
I love those. I love those.
I'm
So
gonna throw a
much
link
fun.
in there because they're so funny because they're so innocent. It's so
Yeah.
innocent.
Correct.
And it's so ridiculous, but they get down to the truth of it. They get down to the truth of the movie because they don't have any cultural reference.
Yeah, those are fun.
I love those. I love those early reactions. Like when I first started, like I think this was during the lockdowns. I would watch Black people reacting to Queen and Freddie Mercury, and they love the Freddie Mercury, man. But their reactions are so pure, like like you said, they're just like, how's this guy singing like that? Those were the best videos. And we got a PayPal super chat. Yes, we have a PayPal, guys, from for $10, which I got to bring up because that's really cool. And JP, our boy JP says to help keep the lights on. $10. Hell yeah.
Very nice.
Awesome.
Okay, here we go. Let's have some fun.
Ok, Sergio, ya.
Ooh, New York Giants. Remember, he's seen the words New York Giants.
New Yorkientes. New Yorkientes. New Yorkientes.
That's one I'm blocked. I said
Okay.
los Gigantes, Nueva York.
But remember, he's trying to say it in English. You're thinking
Oh, yeah.
Spanish.
Damn my
Giants.
multilingual brain of mine.
Giants.
Yeah, those Giants.
He's
Yeah,
trying
the
to say it in
Giants.
English. See, I keep trying to pronounce it in Spanish.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Those Giants, I guess.
There's Giants or Giants.
Yeah. I'm
New
with you on
York.
that one, Sam.
Oh, I didn't mean
New
to
York.
put that up. I can't
That
believe-
must be right. That must be
I
the
did
one.
not mean to put that up. To my... Okay, here we go.
We're having fun.
Nueva York, Gigant.
He gone.
He gone. That's close.
He gone.
He gone.
Nueva York, he gone.
I love the meme, right?
Oh my
How in the world did he come up with that?
Higan, because
Higan.
in Spanish it's gigante. But he doesn't see the E, so he's phonetically
Higan.
Higan.
Gosh,
There was no Rosetta Stones for Hispanics.
Oh, I love
poor
it.
guy.
Higan. Higan. Really fast. Sundowners Club for $15. Gotta send some support to Polly. Keep it up. Ándale pues. Muchísimas gracias, hombre. I'll play you guys some thank you video right after this. Latinos pronounce. Always a fun time with our guests.
Okay, Luis, último.
Ooh, oh, this is the last one. Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals.
Arizona Cardinales.
Cardinal.
Arizona Cardinales.
Okay.
Arizona Carnal.
Ooh, you're really chopping it up, carnal. Okay. Here we go.
Arizona Cardinals.
Oh my God.
Cardinals.
Okay, sir.
Oh, wait, I thought that was the last one. There, Green Bay Packers. Ooh, he's going to mess this one up. Green Bay Packers.
Verde Bepacaras. Verde Bepacaras. Sounds more Greek.
I felt like, after you said that, I felt like, this is Sparta. I don't know for some reason.
Packers. I don't know. I'm wrong with all of them. I'm just here to see what he says.
Oh my God, I'm lost on this one. Green Bay.
Okay, here we go.
Parques.
Parcas.
Packers.
Que último. Green Bears Packers.
Green Bears.
Green Bears. I mean,
he's trying so hard. Bless his heart.
Oh, he's having a blast. I'm not worried about him. He's already picking up a TV deal somewhere. I mean, that's so much fun.
No, they're on the joke, so they get it. They're good.
Yeah.
It is fun.
Okay. I'm gonna let you guys go, and I'm going to promote an event happening in town with Andy Vargas of Santana. So before I do that, why don't we give some exits? Let's start with first of all, thank you to the panel, but let's start with ladies first. We'll sing you out. Mods, let's grab her link. Let's put it up. See what you got going on.
What do I have going on? Well, I just put up a review for Gran Turismo today. I saw that a few weeks ago.
I want to see it.
Did you like it? Can you give us a spoiler? Did you like it?
I actually did like it. More than I expected I would. It was one of those Regal Mystery Movie Mondays, where you go to see an advanced screener and you have no idea what it is. So, yeah, and then I'm hoping to get either Oppenheimer or Retribution up this week.
Have you seen Oppenheimer yet? Have you seen it?
I finally did just last week. So, yeah. So that's what's coming up.
Okay, so you got the Blue Beetle review up. You have the Turismo coming up. Cool. I mean, you have like a lot of followers. That's fantastic.
I mean, I'm just a tiny little plop in the YouTube bucket.
That's how it grows.
That's how it goes. All right. Well, thank you so much. And my man.
Oh, you made me big. I don't like seeing myself. The Basco Scenario is the channel. I have a show on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern called The Hangout, which we're going to talk more about the Blue Beetle, since a lot of my panelists have seen it since then. As well, we're going to be touching on Ahsoka, since Ahsoka drops on Tuesday. We're going to talk about those 2 episodes to see if it's true, if it can actually save Star Wars. So tune in, guys.
What's the word on Ahsoka?
I'm staying away from all the other channels talking about it. Everything. I'm staying away. I want to watch those 2 episodes with my own free mind.
That's the right way to do it.
I see everything popping up, but I'm like, no, I don't want anything to come in between me and those 2 channels.
Because,
those 2 episodes.
Star Wars is so polarized, as I've said, only opinion that matters is your opinion. That's the only opinion that matters for anything. What do you think? That's it. And I'm just looking forward to seeing it. I'm hoping I like it, and I'll leave it at that. I'll be honest if I don't.
Yeah.
But I'm expecting I will.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that. And Polly, thank you for having me, man. It was great fun.
Of course.
Todos los chats en los chatos, muchas gracias. Hit me up on my channel too. Glad to see everybody. Everybody's welcome there as well.
We love it. We love it.
Pasha, you too.
What an honor.
All right. Speaking of the man, what do you got, hombre?
Well, just again, thank you so much. I've now seen 2 incredible movies because of you. And by the way, I still have the wonderful gift bag I got from the screening. So thank you for that. And I met some really nice people. And everyone go watch Blue Beetle. I think you'll enjoy it more than you expect. At least I hope so. And yeah, please come join me on my Patreon. Thank you for Fletcher for putting it up there. It's a great experience, place, a lot of conversation there. Latino Slant is a major part of the community, talks a lot there. Again, my one rule is you can have any opinion. You can have an opinion different from me. You actually have to watch the thing. It's a simple rule. And otherwise, your opinion it's just hot air. And I think most people are respectful of that. But we're having a great conversation. Come join us. You can also come, for those of you who are writers, screenwriters, novelists, whatever, I do consulting work through there. I've consulted over 20 members of Patreon. Some of them went on to then publish their books through Amazon, are doing very well. Or, I've had one kid I helped consult on the Patreon, helped him rewrite a screenplay, and he's now winning, awards at festivals. So come join me there, and it'll be a great way to interact with me. I'll throw in the link as well as the one on the screen.
Awesome.
He loves this panel. Let's do it again. Yeah, let's bring you guys back. One thing before you guys go, this is the line about how Blue Beetle is Batman with ADHD. Because remember, that was when they were looking at Ted Cord stuff. Thank you for the $2 Sith. Thank you so much. All right, I'm gonna let all you guys go. You guys be well.
Have a good one.
And Cameron, I will get a hold of you this week, my friend. I'll give you a call.
Nice to meet you too. Nice
Adios,
to see you
man.
again, Polly. Adios. Nos vemos.
Adios.
Hasta luego.
See, look at that Latina stuff. She talks
She did
Latino.
it, man. She did
She just
it.
jet, man. That's very Latino right there. I'm out.
I'm out.
Throw the
Okay,
chocolate,
guys.
guys.
Yep.
God bless, guys. Take care. Peace.
God bless. Adios. Okay, here we go. Before we head out, I'm going to end it with a Andy Vargas song from Santana. This Friday night here in Los Angeles, it's a meet and greet. It is a Malapalabras live concert with all these artists, including Andy Vargas and the Chris Perez Band. You can check out their music on their Malapalabras YouTube channel. Some fantastic music. We wanted to give this a nice little spotlight this Friday night, August the 25th, here in Los Angeles, LA Live, the Malapalabras record release party. Now, again, Malapalabras is a record label, independent record label with Andy Vargas that he created with George Lopez. So a lot of cool things going on there. And let's end the show. We'll do this. We're gonna play some Andy Vargas music, and then I'll play the closing credits. Thank you to everyone, all the new people that are in the chat. Get your plug. Wait, cortitos. Oh, right. Okay. So we have a music channel. Speaking of music, where we put up music every day, and we're just putting up shorts, and it's 60 seconds of a musical song from Latin America. You'll love it. If you love music, you'll love it. It's called the new channel is called Cortitos Músicos, and it's just musical shorts. I'm trying to find the link. We get it in there. And let's play some music, guys. Let's play some Andy Vargas. And we'll take it from there. Let me see. Yeah, City of Angels. Okay, enjoy. I'll be hanging out. Enjoy this song.
City of the angels, spread your wings for me. I've been other places looking for my dreams. Eastern cities move too fast, the southern ones too slow. I can't go back to my past. I need some place to grow. City of the angels, clear your cloudy skies for me. I heard you got some places that I ought to see. Heard you got a Disneyland not too far away. When it rains, I understand the skies are clear all day. LA, LA, find a space for me. Give me your spaces, please. It's where I want to be. City of the angels, spread your wings for me. I heard you got some places that I ought to see. Heard you got a Disneyland not too far away. When it rains, I understand the skies are clear all day. LA, LA, find a place for me. Give me your spaces, please. It's where I want to be. Hey. City of the angels, spread your wings for me. I heard you got some things that I ought to see. Heard you got a Disneyland, yeah, not too far away. When it rains, I understand the skies are clear all day. LA, LA, find a space for me. Give me all your spaces, please. It's where I wanna be.
Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Slant? Yeah, but isn't this the unplugged version? I don't know, I think it's the unplugged version. Alright, Power, let's go.